Believe it or not, we eat food with our eyes, our senses, and our brains. If you don't believe me, I want you to imagine a hot, sizzling fajita. Can you hear the sound? Can you smell it? That's what we do when we consider eating. We use our eyes to make sure it's safe and appealing. We use our nose to make sure it's fresh and inviting. We use our ears. If bread has a crunch or the sizzle of the fajita, it triggers stuff inside of us and tells us it's something we want to eat. Our minds do the same thing. Have you ever been around a food that triggers a memory, or you remember something from your childhood and you go, oh, I really want to eat that? For me, it's a cinnamon toast crunch from my grandma's house. Just triggers a memory for me. I don't eat that cereal, but I want it now, now that I'm thinking about it. So when we consider that, it's very important to have photography and video that represents our food when we put it out there. So that's all well and good, right? There are professional photographers who specialize in food, but if you run a small restaurant, you know how tricky it is, one, to make the budget work, and two, to find the time to do everything that's expected of you. So instead of going to great lengths and creating all sorts of really big setups and or taking food and preparing it and everything for a professional photographer, let's talk about some ways that you can improve your photography for things like menus and social media right now, and you can do it yourself. We're going for simple here. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but it does have to communicate that sense that when people see it, they go, I could see myself eating that. I want that, right? So we're going to go over a couple of really quick rules, and hopefully at the end of it, you'll have a really good idea of what you can do to improve your photography today. Okay, so some simple rules. First, let's set the scene. You want to have a surface that's interesting. You want to have a background that's not distracting. You want to consider interesting visual elements. Like I have, as an example here, some friends of ours. I'm working on their marketing for a small donut shop here in town. And when I'm thinking about their stuff, I actually did some tests here. Visual elements. I mean, it can be as simple as a plate. It can be, let's see, I have, dustings of flour on the ground or on the surface. Tried a couple of different surfaces here. That's a acacia wood tabletop. This is an old oak kind of butcher block top. On down, we've got a hardwood surface. Just something that's not going to be distracting, but it'll be visually interesting, and it'll kind of help draw the eye to your food item. That's what we're looking for. The next thing is to set up the lighting. And here's what I want you to look at, or want you to consider. This is going to be the simplest setup, and it'll be the fastest. Let's see, come on now. There we go. Oh, it's opening too. There we go. Very simple. You either need a strong light, something that's going to cast the right color of light, or you can use the sun. For some of these photos I'll show you in a second, we're using sunlight through a window. There is a trick though. You want to make sure that it is diffused, but you want to have a strong light coming in at about a 90-degree angle coming through the side here. And then you want to have a second light, a backlight, at about 2 o'clock on the opposite side. If you're doing daylight through a window, sometimes you can just set a white paper or piece of cardboard or a cardboard box on the other side, and it'll bounce some of that light back and just get rid of some of the darkest, harshest shadows. Let me show you what I'm referring to. So in the little donut shop, we played around with some pictures for some new donuts that are coming out. This actually is just a cardboard box. I don't think I took a picture of the actual box, but this is a window. It's throwing some light down through, and then we put a cardboard box on the back side just to open up some of those shadows. lighten it up a little bit. You can see there's still a little bit of a shadow here. There was also lights coming down from above, and they were a little more yellow than the sunlight. So it created a little bit of a contrast. That's okay. If you do too much of it, it's going to look really awkward with like really blue light and really yellow light. I did see on this one, I made a mistake. I did not clean the tabletop before I put this stuff down. So you see some light oil bits, residue from a donut that I'd done before. That's not great. That's on me. Okay, so that's lighting. Primary light, secondary light. Primary light stronger, but not overly harsh. I'm going to zoom up here. I did some to show that. Look at this. Now they can have a dramatic effect. That can be okay. But this was just direct sunlight coming through a window. And it creates some really harsh, strong shadows. You can do that. It can be really dramatic, but it can also be distracting and may not... See, when I look at these, I feel like I'm not looking at the product as much, like the food item. I'm looking more at the whole thing and the shadows. So it's generally better to find something that has a little bit of a strong light coming in and then a secondary light behind. Something that kind of just kills off some of those really harsh shadows. Okay, we got to move on. Consider some fun additions. I don't have a whole lot here. We have some flour on the countertop for these. But if let's say you're doing St. Patrick's Day, you can put a little green hat or 4-leaf clovers around something, something that's just going to dress it up or enhance it. The trick with that is you want to make sure you're not overdoing it. You don't want to lose the food item among all of this stuff. So just add enough that it'll help trigger that idea in people's mind. It'll connect them to whatever you're selling, like to a holiday or some birthday or whatever it is you're selling. Connect it without overpowering. The food is always supposed to be the star. It's the hero. Photo settings and angles. Okay, so if you're using an iPhone, try using the portrait setting. That might give you a pop toward the front, and then it'll fuzz or diffuse everything behind it, and it'll help you not have to worry about background stuff as much. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. And then I want you to do 4 different angles. For everything you're photographing, do 4 different angles. I want you to do a straight down. You're standing right over it, staring straight down at it. I want you to do a 45-degree angle so you get to the top and the side. I want you to do a flat photo and then a macro, something really close up, something that's very special to that food item. With the donuts, we have examples of all of that. Let's go here. So this is an example of a top down. We're shooting straight down at the donut, kind of highlights the garnishes on top of it. We're going to go with roughly a 45-degree angle so you can see the top and the side. We're going to go with a straight on. Oh, I like this one. Right, so actually that's awfully close. Let's back out a little bit. So it looks like I missed a little bit. Actually, no, this works. So I think I had this on the portrait setting. You can see where it focused in on the photo. It's right here in the top corner. It's kind of interesting. And then the rest of the donut is blurred out. It's not perfect. Maybe it would have been better to try and have it focus more toward the front here. But it's kind of interesting, and the color's okay. You can see the sunlight, the outside. It has kind of a cooler cast from the blue sky. That's all right. That'll be fine. So let's see macro. Let's do a macro photo. Let's see. How close did we get? Let's find. I mean, this isn't a real close up, but it's pretty close. You're highlighting the bite taken out of it and the different textures of the interior of the donut versus the frosting layer. And so it makes you, when you look at it, you can kind of feel that donut in your hands, or as you're taking a bite, you can feel the texture of everything. That's a macro shot. That's an up close, really tight shot highlighting something about it, something about the food. Edit. Okay, so a couple of things when you go to edit. You don't have to edit. If you're doing the same setup every time, your colors should be about the same every single time, and the pictures will have consistency. But if you do go into editing, I want you to be careful. When you, like, if you apply a filter or something, it's going to change the color of every photo that you edit, right? So it might end up being warmer or cooler than what your camera actually saw. And if you start mixing and matching those, and I don't know if I have an example of that, but we experimented with a couple of different filters, and then they got published online. Oh, I'll show you. Let's see. No. Oh, here's an example. Okay, so here you can see this top photo has a filter on it, and it's kind of warm. That wood is kind of red, and then the ones below it are cooler. And that creates a little bit of an awkward thing for me. In my opinion, it would be better if they all had the same cast, even if the cast or the coloration of it is a little bit off. So be careful with editing with filters. And then, this is the other one. I threw this into Canva, and I dropped the photo in, dropped the logo in, and put in a little bit of text. I'm not saying it's perfect. It was a really quick job, but adding the logo in connects that food that looks really, really yummy to the actual company. So in this case, Sugar Creek Donuts, awesome baked donuts, and gluten and dairy free if you like them too. But it connects that food with the logo, kind of helps build the brand a little bit. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, if you really love your photos, that could be a way to help, one, protect your photo so people aren't stealing it, and two, connect the food with you a lot faster. When you do that, let's pull that up. Be very careful. You don't want the logo to be overly big. You want that at like 15-ish%, somewhere around there, of the entire photo. So the photo of the food is going to be the hero of the whole thing. The messaging takes, let's say 25 or 30% of the space, and then the logo should be, or the branding should be 15-ish, we'll say. They're rough numbers. It changes over time, and also it kind of depends on what you're selling and what you're doing. But try and think of it as a hierarchy. The image is the hero, the message is second, and then the logo or the branding is third. Let's see. I wanted to show you some results, and this is like really, really quick. It's not like proof positive of anything, but I hope it helps a little bit. So with Sugar Creek, a few weeks back, they posted these photos. This is what they were doing. They would put all the donuts out into their case and then snap a quick picture of it. Their donuts are beautiful and they're delicious. They're a fantastic treat. But in a case like this, it doesn't really showcase or highlight the awesomeness of those treats, right? So this is 2 weeks in. It had 41 likes, had a lot of comments because of the messaging they added to it. We did an experiment this morning, and we tried just these donuts. All we did was add a little bit of fun content, no call to action, but just, here's our triple chocolate donut, and then added the 3 photos. And let's see, when I took this screenshot, that was 4 hours in, and we already had 28 likes. So, I mean, it's not proof that everything works better, but I really do believe that good photography, or at least better photography, I'm not a professional photographer, better photography helps people imagine eating that food, and it gets them excited. And I think, we're almost to that 41 likes in just a couple of hours. So with good photography, you can really help people experience the food before you give it to them, before you sell it to them. And it's going to make them want it. It's going to make them want to come in and see you. So take better photos, and then deliver on the promise. When they show up, give them an amazing customer experience and give them amazing food that they're going to love. Hope this helps. Tell me what you think in the comments.